Ladies and gentlemen, thanks you very much to the World Sindh Congress for this opportunity to share with you some thoughts on these three very interesting topics, which are the Sindhi Indigenous Identity, the fundamentalist polity of Pakistan, and the regional aspect. And thanks you very much for all of those that used the floor up to now and that allowed me to deepen a bit my knowledge of your culture, of your situation, of your aspirations. Not all of them, because unfortunately I do not speak Sindhi, so some of the interventions were not, I could not follow them. I would like to give a bit of a contribution in all of these three issues and try to see how they get together. I wrote some lines on this, I sent it to the organization, so I think that all those of you that want to read what I wrote, you can do it. Well, the first thing is that it is really amazing that one of the three most important world ancient cultures, which is the Sindhi, together with the Egyptian and the Mesopotamian, the Sindhi, well, nobody knows about it. Go to the British Encyclopedia. What is there about it? It's very little. People do not know about it. In Iraq or in Egypt, even totalitarian regimes, I mean, they never thought about erasing the past. They never thought about going without trying to exploit how they could enhance, of course, their profits, the past where their country lies. But in the case of Sindh, this is not the case. Your identity, your language, your past, your culture, they have been the victims of a systematic campaign of destruction. And this is absolutely amazing, because it shows that behind this there is a totalitarian power that cannot admit anything that might make any shadow on it. And this is the real thing that drives us to the issue of the fundamentalist polity. Well, we have to keep in consideration, in my opinion, it is clear that the reason why of the partition of the then British India, and the way it was done, was actually geopolitical and comes into the tradition of what some consider very positively so-called the systems, the Westphalian systems, that is equilibrium of power. Basically, what was on the mind of the Western leaders that decided it was, well, this leader of India, this Mr. Gandhi, is, well, a bit, we cannot trust him. We do not know what we will do with the Soviets. So, just in case, make sure that the Soviet Union is not reaching India. So we are getting, some buffer states in between. Actually, in my paper, I just wrote about the case of Belgium, that is very similar, of course, in very different circumstances in the beginning of the 19th century. But Belgium was a country artificially completely artificially created, exactly in the same circumstances and for the same purposes. In this case, it was the Prussia that was exactly acquiring at this moment what was nowadays the North Rhine area, and also from the Netherlands. Well, there is a lot of similarity, but whatever the reason why, and to be, I think that if we look to history, to human history, in an unpassionate way, we will see these kind of things over and over again, all over. Everybody thinks that they are the special victims. For instance, in Iraq, everybody, when I was there, everybody was speaking about the colonial heritage, but actually it happened a bit all over. But the tragedy is that apparently the Pakistani leadership decided or reasoned that the only way to keep this country together and to give it an identity was to enhance as much as it could the factor that was given as a reason for its creation, that is Islam, that is fundamentalism. This is the tragedy, and of course the tragedy that comes out of fundamentalism, that which is, and here allow me to say, I mean, of course, Islam has no monopoly on fundamentalism. We hear about some American politicians, but I mean, I am Portuguese, and if you look at what was done in the 16th century in Portugal in persecution of Jews and also of Muslims, it was atrocious, it was absolutely disgusting, and it was 5 centuries ago, fortunately. But of course, there is no monopoly of no religion on fundamentalism. But right now, to me, it is very, very obvious that the fanatic Islam, the jihadism, and it might be Sunni jihadism or Shia jihadism, which is absolutely the same. No differences but of detail. This is the biggest threat, of course, to you in Sindh, in the whole of in Balochistan, in the whole of Pakistan, but at the world level as well, in Iraq, in Syria, or wherever. It is to me very clear. The reasoning apparently is exactly that, well, that's the way to put this country together. The least we can say is that this is, as was the image was given before, this issue, this example of Miss Kutu is absolutely extraordinary, because, as it was correctly said, she was the one who created, I don't know if she was the one who had the idea, but whoever else was around the establishment that had this fantastic idea of creating the Taliban. And of course she died with the bomb of the same fanatics that she thought was a very good idea. And this has been happening time and time again, and people do not learn. People do not learn. You look, we heard about the Islamic State. Well, it's something like creating, coming from heaven. Nobody knew about it, nobody saw it. It has been there for ages. It is in deep connection with Osama bin Laden, with Al Qaeda, and so forth and so forth and so forth. But people do not want to see it. And I think that sooner or later, someone in the Pakistani establishment will finally understand, hopefully not so late, that it is like it happened with Mrs. Kutu. Because they are not able to control the monster. They will they are already, there are lots of instances where we have seen it, but they will be more and more the victims of the monster that they created. And this is, if anything else, something I think all of us should bear in our mind. That ultimately the fanatic agenda of the Islamic fundamentalism wants a caliphate. It's absolutely clear. Whoever reads all the scripts of the fanatics, all the groups of fanatics coming from the Sunni side and the Shia side, exactly the same. There is no difference whatsoever. Perhaps some people are distracted, but they should read better what the fanatic leaders, either in the Shia Iraq or in a more clear way in Iran, In the Iranian constitution, for instance, one needs to read no more than the constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran to understand that a caliphate is what all of them they want. And of course the problem is that, at least in this planet, there is only room for one caliphate. And this is their problem. This is why they are quarreling all the time. Because all of them, they want to be the caliph. And it's not really possible. So this is going to happen as well in Pakistan. I think that the cleverest people in Pakistan will understand that if they will continue, as they have been up to now, they will end, perhaps not in much time, like Somalia. Karachi risks to become a big Mogadishu. Perhaps they will finally get to the light that this is not really a desirable option. And the only way to stop it is exactly as you are saying, by enhancing the cultural identity, the language, the history, the monuments, everything, your ethos, to show that you do not need all of this fanatic agenda to exist and to be yourselves. And this is really the most important thing. And I do think that, as you correctly perceive, of course, Pakistan and its ethos is also the one that tells them that the best way for them to survive is to create mayhem all over. And they do it in Afghanistan, they do it in India, they do wherever they can. But of course, that this is backfiring, and we shall hope they will understand. We shall hope they do understand it. But of course, that I think you are right when you are saying that the biggest problem lies in the West. I do think so. The more I know about all this, the more I think, well, what is difficult to understand is really how the West falls into these traps once and twice and never seems to understand. This is really perhaps the biggest fight we have in front of us, and I think that we have to come to terms with this struggle. We have to explain that all of us, never mind Sindhi, Portuguese, European, American, never mind, we have this world in common. We think that the respect of each other, of its traditions, its language, is the way to coexist and to be happy together. And this fanatics agenda is contrary to all our interests, and we have to come together to fight it. And I would like to end by telling you that South Asian Democratic Forum, we are here exactly to cooperate in this project.